We go to the Benchmark Hotline right now, where we are joined by Estacado head football coach Marcus Shavers, just beginning his second season with Estacado. Coach, what is the best part for you about tomorrow?
Best part, first of all, I want to thank you for having me on the show. Best part for me about tomorrow is that it's football season. It's kind of like that first day back, get the kids back in the building, get to go out and start day one of kind of building your team up to be what you want it to be in the fall.
How much sleep do you get, or do you anticipate getting tonight?
8 hours.
So it's not something that keeps you up all night thinking about it?
No, I think the biggest thing what you have to do as a coach and as a player is prepare yourself for what this stretch is going to be like. That's how I'll sleep tonight. The rest of camp, I may not sleep that well. But I know I have to go in fresh with a fresh mind, hydrated, that whole deal, and I hope our players follow suit and do that so they can be at their best day one.
Do you have any rituals or superstitions? I know Coach Strunk at Lubbock High likes to, go away, go on vacation right before camp. Do you do something like that?
No, we work. We get prepared for our kids to come in. I don't think I have any rituals, per se. I just think, you get so used to doing this. I've been playing football since I was in the fifth grade, and it always seems like every year around this time you're reporting back to something, and I've been doing that since fifth grade, whether it be as a player or as a coach. I think, the biggest thing for me is I try to find some time to reflect and relax, and, I go, make sure I got everything lined out. I like organization is a big deal for me, and so I want all laundry done, all the, I need all the groceries in the refrigerator, all the water, in the coach's offices, all that stuff ready to go, and so we can kind of just get on autopilot and focus on coaching the kids.
Talking with Coach Marcus Shavers of the Estacado Matador football team, and we look at the schedule. Obviously, the district's going to be tough, but this non-district for you as well, very tough. Hereford, Dumas, Caprock, Lubbock, just to name a few. How early do you guys start preparing for the season? I know tomorrow is only the first day, but when do you guys start looking towards the season?
Well, I think, we're our kind of philosophy is we always worry about us first. And so I think we start preparing for those games against those very tough opponents that you mentioned. We start preparing for them day one by focusing on ourselves. But as in terms of getting into particulars about, scouting and going against specific plays that we're going to see that week, we'll probably start doing that the third week of fall camp. As we get ready to go into that last scrimmage, we'll incorporate some basic things, and then we'll get into more specific details the week of school and just getting a routine of how we're going to go about preparing for every team we play.
Coach, I love asking this question to second-year coaches, and I know you've been coaching longer than just 2 years, but this is your second year at Estacado. What do you know now about Estacado that you didn't know a year ago?
Wow, that's a great question, first of all. And I think there's so many answers, so many different answers to that question. But I'll say the biggest thing, in general, something that I know now that I didn't know a year ago, and that's just what to expect from our players and from our football team. When I first got here, we were going into games. I was trying to get to know kind of what set players off, what motivated players the best, what were some of the best ways to teach our kids. This year, I feel like I'm going into that because of the relationships that have been made and the time that's been put in. I feel like going into this year right now, I know those things. I know where our weaknesses are, mentally and athletically. I know what to focus on a little bit more so it doesn't become an issue in some games. For example, last year when I got here, I didn't know that we would be a team that a little bit of adversity would create a major difference within our football team. I didn't know that was an issue, as major of an issue as it was. We have one bad thing happen to us, and we'll just lose all spirit. This year going in, I feel like we're not that same team. And so you have other things that you can focus on. So I guess that in general, just knowing the team better.
Speaking with Marcus Shavers joining us on the Benchmark Hotline, and a name that some Texas Tech fans and Lubbock people might know is Alfredo Morales, and he's on your staff right now. How did that come about? And what is his role with the Matador program?
Oh, first of all, Coach Morales, that's somebody that Tech fans need to be proud of. He's a guy that came up, worked hard, and had a great career at Texas Tech. When I first started coaching here at Estacado, Coach Morales actually reached out to me on social media. And I can't remember if he reached out to me, I reached out to him. But we were talking about, he was getting his master's and he wanted to do some volunteer work, follow a program around. And so I invited him, welcomed him to come around, follow our program. He got involved with our offense on a, kind of a volunteer basis. He was doing some subbing at the school. And, one thing led to another. We had some openings on staff. And thankfully, he was in a position to where he could get hired. And we hired him full-time, and he serves as our tight ends coach and just a great asset. Guy has a really, really bright future in front of him in terms of being a coach, and we're just fortunate to have him on our staff.
Coach, going into the off season, I'm sure you had a message for your team and what they needed to work on most. And now that you're getting the first opportunity to see them come back, what was that message, and did they respond to it?
I really think they did. I think that message went, throughout our entire program. That was with our coaches, with our players, with our trainers, managers, the whole deal. And that was just simply own your role. And I feel like if every member in our program, top to bottom, player to coach, owns their role, no matter how big, how small that role is, but if you own it, and when I say own it now, that's a powerful word because there's a certain degree of attention you give to something when you own it. And if everybody in our program owns their role and they're able to do that for the next 16-plus weeks, I think we have a team that could be a championship caliber team, and this will be a great year for everybody.
He's Marcus Shavers, the head coach at Estacado, head football coach. And your team, or the Estacado Matadors, had a nice little 7-on-7 run there. I wanted to get your thoughts about, one, playing 7-on-7, and, should coaches be allowed to coach that, atmosphere?
My feelings towards 7-on-7 have evolved throughout the time of me being a coach. I do think it's so important to be involved. There's so many different ways that you can improve your football team through the game of 7-on-7. Offensively, defensively, team chemistry, just to name a few. But I love it. I think it's something that coaches should be able to be more involved in. I'm hoping that some of the votes that are coming down from UIL will allow that, because I think that, it helps with a lot of different things. One, it creates an opportunity for your coaches to continue that chemistry and that bond building over the summer months. Also, I feel like it can help deter bad habits. I seen a kid in the Metroplex do 7-on-7, and he scores a touchdown and he pulls out a cell phone and takes a selfie. I know the coach of that football team. I likely don't think that kid does the same thing if that coach is standing over there on that sideline. And so I think some of those issues you'll see be helped in the process, but definitely some of the things on the field can be corrected and can be coached. And you'll see a better brand of football, or safer brand of football, if you have the professionals being directly involved in that. So personally, I hope it happens, but if not, you continue to do it the way you've always done it and get volunteers to step in and basically let it be ran by the kids.
Interesting. Marcus Shavers joining us now on the Benchmark Hotline. Now, you guys go 8-4 last year, second round of the playoffs. Do you remind the players about that during this fall camp or in the summer? And what has there been response to that?
No, not really. I think they know. I think they know what we did last year. I think they know what we want to do this year, and that's the most important thing. Our kids need to come back and focus on this, because it's a totally different team right now. And so these guys have things that they have to put together, and a lot of variables they have to overcome versus being reminded about what last year's team did. And so that won't be something that we'll focus on, but it'll definitely be, in the backdrop. I don't think people forget that.